Hi, my name is Lamis Vargas. I'm an hermana of Sigma Lambda Upsilon, Señorita Latinas Unidas Sorority Incorporated. I pledged in the fall 2012 through the Theta Beta Graduate Professional Chapter, Gamma Line, and I currently work for the Mayor of Pawtucket, the third largest city of the state of Rhode Island.
Hi, my name is Veronica Almeida, and I'm a sister of Omega Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated from the Alpha Epsilon chapter in Rhode Island. I am from summer 2011. I graduated Johnson & Wales in 2009, and I am currently a social worker for DCYF, which is the Department of Child, Youth and Services of Rhode Island.
My name is Crystal White. I am the Vice President of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. I'm the President of NPHC, and I'm also a resident assistant at Southpaw. And my major is Culinary Arts Food Service Management. I'm a senior. I feel like the stereotypes that men have of professional women is just that like they're catty, or they just like way too headstrong, but like in a bad way. Like I don't want to use the B word, but basically like that. And I just feel like they don't understand that being a woman, you have to fight harder than you do as a man. Like, and the pressure that we have. So like we apologize for acting, I guess, that way, but it's just like we have more to fight for than you do.
I feel as though men sometimes can be intimidated by professional women, depending on what that person's definition of professionalism looks like. Personally, for myself, I know it can be intimidating by men of how professional I am and how professional I could be, and how my work pretty much takes over my life. So men find that intimidating to the fact that some men don't feel as though they're men. Some men don't feel as though when they're in a relationship with a woman who is professional that they have anything to offer, or they feel as though it's competitive. I don't agree with those stereotypes, but those are just some of the stereotypes.
Some of the stereotypes that I think men have or bias towards professional women are the fact that they simply think that perhaps we're weak in leadership, that we're very weak to delegate, assign positions, assign jobs, and that we're so mixed up within our emotions that we're not able to put emotions in business and separate them and put them aside from one another. And so I think in order to change that, we should definitely we should raise awareness. And just like Sheryl Sandberg had mentioned in one of her books that she wrote not too long ago, was the fact that we should definitely try to change the process, to raise awareness, the fact that women, we are just as strong as men are, and if anything, we're better than them as far as administrating a business. We're good at them as far as raising children, multitasking a professional, career with kids, with school, with just day-to-day, participation in the community. That's why we need more women to be part of the political process, to be appointed to many positions throughout the city, government, and nonprofit world, and the private sector. Because in order for us to go ahead and let them know, and not in order for them to let them know, but in order to educate people, we have to raise awareness and we have to work together to make sure that there's a resolution to this process, and the resolution is just to let them know that we are more capable than what we actually are perceived to be.
I look for confidence, humor, just somebody that has like goals, career oriented. I would say but somebody like us be romantic too. Like I don't feel like I would be put second place, but on the other hand, like he's confident enough to know that I wouldn't put him second place either.
Absolutely. Before entering a relationship and during a relationship, like I said, I'm a social worker for the state of Rhode Island, so it could be very difficult as far as long hours, paperwork, the commitment that come to it. And it's not because I want to put my professional work before finding love or before a relationship. It just so happens to be like that. Not only when it comes to work, but in my professionalism as a sister of Omega Phi Beta, as far as doing business, meetings. It goes both ways. So it is a challenge to balance both and exactly when to know what goes first and what should be put first.
Not at all. I think that you make time for what you want to, put effort in. So for me personally, I make time. So if at this time I have to do, my sorority work, I do my sorority work. But then, I'll give time to my relationship. I just learn how to balance it out.
I would say my life is more professional, like a day-to-day versus personal. When it comes to personal relationships, I try to mingle them with professional. As far as like events or something, I'll invite my other half to events or my family members. But what I really do is I balance. I put them on. I have a calendar where when it's a day of business, it's a day of business, and if it's a day of professionalism, it's a day of professionalism. And sometimes on a day-to-day basis, I can do both, but some days I can only focus on one at a time.
Like I said, there's a time for everything. So, if I'm at a meeting or whatever, I wouldn't be hung up with my boyfriend. But then when I'm with my boyfriend, I wouldn't, if I know that that's our time, I wouldn't bring up work. I just learned how to balance out everything, I would say. We kind of communicate in advance. Okay, this week is going to be a busy week for us or for you. So let's just, by the weekend we'll have more time together, or by night we'll have more time together. So communication is key.
The way my mother raised me is there's certain things that you don't need your husband or people to know that you're doing. And I'm not saying in a bad way, but there's certain things that as important as communication is with your friends, with trusting within others, just trusting yourself that you can do it. I have so many things going on. And I just tell my husband, for example, I get out of work, say 5:30, 6 o'clock. And if I have a meeting to go to, whether it's related to my organization as far as with sorority, whether it's a board commission for the city, whether it's a kids activity, a meeting for the kids PTA school, I just tell them, listen, I have meetings back and forth and I won't be home till 7. And it's tough, but I don't do it every day. So say one day a week I said, listen, I won't be home till 8, I have meetings back to back. So that way, honestly, I don't get that call every 2 minutes. Are you coming home yet? Are you coming home yet? Because I'm with the kids. But there's certain things that you just don't have to tell them your full scoop. Just tell them you have, pretty much something to do. And obviously it's within your job, it's part of your organization, and then it's balancing that off. I don't do that every day. Adapted through changes, let's see, has definitely been, it can be a very bumpy ride, because in a relationship, your relationship changes from the day you go on your first date to 12 years in my case, which is how long I've been with my husband. And you change in the sense that you're growing and developing and you're maturing. And as you're maturing, everybody's, you graduate college, and then from there it's pretty much, okay, what's next? So the reality hits you. You're in the real world. And he may want to do something, have ambitions, as you would hope your boyfriend, your future husband, does. And then you have ambitions as well. So adapting to the changes eventually, in my case, has been, like I said, a bumpy ride. Bumpy ride, why? Because you're still learning from one another. Till this day, I still can't tell you I know my husband 100%. I still, till this day, am learning more and more about him. And I think it works both ways. And it's accepting him for who he is, accepting me for who I am, and understanding why we're really together, and it's because we love one another. And so the changes in life, where it's been for me, it's been physically, it's been emotionally, it's been just me, just having 2 children, and now putting time into my kids, and then my marriage. That's a huge change. Once you have kids, for me, it was a big change, because now you have to dedicate some time to your kids, of course, but then you also have to dedicate time to your husband. And though you both understand that the seeds that you planted are your kids, and that's where your love should also go to, you have to balance that off. and then professionally as well. You know, once you have a job, you don't have the 24/7 time to go on a date and have all the fun that you want to have.